Okay, welcome back to our next look of Selangor Fashion Week talk show 5th episode. And today we are very honored and very special guests, a heavyweight guest for speaker today. We have YBhg, Dato Chuan. Dato is Honorable Secretary General National Chamber of Commerce Industry of Malaysia, and is also Executive Advisor of Associate Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia, and Independent Director of Malaysia Bank of China, Malaysia. Okay, and beside that, Dato also a members of Employment Insurance System, PERCASO, Executive Chairman of Low-Fat Group of Company, manufacturer of high-value furniture, doors, and wool molding for export market. And he also advisor of Malaysia Chamber Association and Malaysia Wood Industry Association. Okay, welcome, Dato. And the next speaker, also a veteran and all these celebrity speaker, we have Mr. K.K. Loong. Okay, Mr. K.K. Loong, L.L. Loong, sorry. Mr. Loong. Koong, sorry. He's the managing partner for Rianda LLKG International and the CEO of K Consult Taxation Sdn Bhd. And presently, he's a Southeast Asia and Southeast region of Rianda International Network and the Chambers of International Tax Steering Committee, practicing auditor of Malaysia, licensed tax agency of Malaysia, and of course he's an accountant. And in also what do you call this? Associate Chinese Chambers Commerce Industry of Malaysia, SME Committee Chairman. Okay, today we have a very special topic where the topic is SME moving forward to a new era. So the first thing, if you want to know what is SME, small and medium entrepreneurs. So maybe Dato Lo, you can start the opening first.
Hi, Dr. Jason and Koong, my good friends in talk. We have been carried out during the MCO period. Okay, by the way, the definition of the SME is different from various countries. Every country has its own definition. For Malaysia, for the manufacturing sector, SME are defined as company or firm with sales turnover not exceeding 50 million ringgit or even exceeding 200. As for silver, is less than 50 million or 75 workers or less. So basically these are medium. In between they have medium, small, and micro small. Micro small are those with sales turnover of 300,000 below or 5 workers or less. Yeah. So these are the definition for SME in Malaysia. The number actually, they are 98.5% of the business established are SME in Malaysia. So the number is large. So, Koong, you want to add on?
Yeah, definitely. Can you hear me clear? Yeah, because SME in Malaysia for these few years, I think the contributions, I will add on the contributions. The contributions to Malaysian GDP, you know, Malaysian GDP for the first quarter, the growth is 0.7%. Then second quarter is a negative 17.1% is a GDP. So the contributions to the GDP is around 38.3%, as at 2019, something like that. And then the most important, the workforce, it comprises about 66.2%. 66.2% of Malaysian workforce. Let me elaborate a bit. The Malaysian workforce is around 15.6 to 15.8 million, But if you say 66%, it's around 10 million. That means Malaysia, 10 million of the workforce is in the SME. If you talk about Malaysia population, it's about 32 million, something like that. That means 1/3 of a Malaysian is working in the SME. Perhaps I should elaborate in such a way. But if you talk about Malaysia, it's an open economy. We export a lot, all those things. But however, Malaysia SME export value is only about 17.3%. But our Malaysia, the former Prime Minister has mentioned, Tun Mahathir, about this National Entrepreneurial Policy 2030. That means TKN 2030. 2030 means that now it's 2020, another 10 years to 2030. Let's say 2030, we want to achieve is what? The GDP of the SME contribution to GDP at least not 38.3%, at least 50%. Then it comes to workforce, we want to as high as 80%. Next time, all the Malaysian workforce, 80% must be in the SME. Talk about just like I mentioned, the value of the export is quite low, about 17.3%. But after 10 years, perhaps it's around 30%. That means 1/3 of Malaysia export value is come from the SME per se. So this is after the Dato mentions about the SME definition. Then this is the SME figures about economy, the contributions to the national economy and the workforce, something like that. Yeah. Yep, Jason.
Okay. Today, as you know, that after this COVID-19, SME are badly hit by the outbreak of this virus. Also, we are knocked down for a couple of months after MCO, and now it's RMCO. So what is the challenge faced by SME, and what should SME do during this time? Perhaps Dato would like to give some advice to the SME players, small and businessmen.
This time around SME, but if all businesses and every country actually globally affected by this unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, the economy just shut down, and go overseas. So now it's all depends on your own internal strength of the country, how much the government can help, And for SME, and I would say everyone will get caught. We will all get caught unprepared because all of a sudden we never this before because zero revenue. Only of your capacities just subject for approval by MITI or others authority, concern the ultimate setters by Timber Board. Okay, so the challenges, of course, is for fighting for definitely seriously affected. That's why government had to come in with the assistance with this auto moratorium that extend for 6 months. So after that, what's next after the 6 months? I think Koong can elaborate further from that. But as for the challenges, is because this new normal, even wider digitalization of business, and services. Because you can see this side, because the disruption, so because of MCO, we can move. So the digitalized goods, this assistant, like this food delivery, Grab, Food Panda. So they can, during this period, they can provide, and business is good for them because they not only deliver food, also grocery fulfillment and parcel delivery. And look at this digital communication tool, Zoom. Now we are in Zoom, provide millions of SME that we can work from home or learn from home. In fact, during this period now, so we tend to learn. We forced to learn how to be digitalized and using this e-platform, and we can communicate and still do business or work from home. Because now for business survival, this period is cash flow, liquidity, So now we have lived the business now back to go back to operation, but still not full capacity because of the we had to comply with the social distancing. That actually made certain industry actually transform, completely change the industry, like travel and this tourism, tourist and travel business. So airline, hotel, even because you have no overseas visitor, you can, even your airline cannot fly overseas. See, this is number of your business actually, you're not even half capacity. You maybe only operate at 20-30% capacity. And hotel, and look at convention hall, look at this exhibition center, cinema, restaurant. So no booking for big because social distancing. So capacity, you cannot enjoy the full capacity. So that you have to change how to adapt and change and transform the business. So every sector actually affected. So by and large, for Malaysia, because we are a small trading nation, we need people in Asia to spend. So for instance, the traveler, we need our service sector is seriously affected. For manufacturing, then the rest of the world also, everyone is struggling. So the demand for those goods that we use to export, also you subject for certain sector, of course, essential like health and food. This sector, okay, they are doing well. But for instance, you see the way it changed. I give an example because now we had to wear a face mask. So if more people you had to clean out the mandatory, you had to wear face mask, 3-ply, So imagine lady, used to have lipstick, So now the lipstick business sure affected, right? You are the supplier, producer, or you are the retail chains selling lipstick. Sure, that business affected. I just give an example. So and there are many others. But some of course they pick up gain and loss, but I think overall is how we change our strategy, how we can embrace with technology and digitalization. I think and we can elaborate more further. Maybe Koong, I think right now it's more critical is what's next after September, on the moratorium,
Or maybe Dato, you can talk about, or Loong can talk about, Koong can talk about moratorium. The people who are having, now today they still have a cash flow because they don't have to pay installment, things like that. Maybe after the 6-month moratorium, maybe these are the people who will start suffering. So maybe what would be advice to this SME?
Okay, let's look at from the history of our. Let's go back to our MCO then. During the MCO, actually, we know that a lot of businesses and a household, all those things, perhaps they are not working for those underemployed. And then for those businesses, they are not in the business. That means no cash flow, no sales, all those things. That's why that in the month of March, Prime Minister announced this 6-month moratorium. That means we do not need to repay our loan or HP for the 6 months. That means 6 months means that from the April until September, you know. So this 6 months is you do not need to apply. It's an automatic moratorium. However, what happened now? You look at this. Today is about it's the 21st of August. You know, another 10 days is go into the month of the September. It will end the 30th September. So now the bank also quite worried. And then how comes the SME is not approaching the bank to restructure? Because a lot of people, for instance, the Prime Minister already announced that the moratorium will not be extended automatically, you know, because it's only extended for another 3 months for targeted borrowers only. What it meant by targeted borrower? There are majority about 3 groups. The first two group is an individual. Then the third one is businesses. The first one is if you have lost your job. That means until now you still can't get a job. That means jobless. You know, when you're jobless, you can tell the bank will extend for you for 3 months. But when do you lost your job? You cannot lost your job last year 2019. No? It's not 2019. You must lost your job in the because of COVID in the 2020 this year. You know, then you still can't get a job. Then you can extensions for another 3 months. But the second category is you didn't lose your job, but your company, your employer being affected by the COVID-19. That means your salary being reduced. Once you have reduced your salary, you can contact your banker. Perhaps you can have a similar percentage of the loan reductions or repayment. You know. So this first 2 group. The third one is the businesses. So to talk about the businesses, a lot of people are asking these questions. Businesses, how much is it more important, or this individual is much more important? But the statistics came out from the total moratorium, it will come to about 100 B Malaysia ringgit. But 65% is the individual, you know. Only 35% is the businesses. I mean, mostly is the SME, 35%. But 65% the individual is what? Those are 2 major. The first one is a house loan. The second one is a car loan. Can you imagine? 65% of all this moratorium is the individual. You know? So when it comes to this 30th September, if you still don't have the ability to repay the house loan or the car loan, can you imagine after 30th September, then a lot of lelong will be happen. So I think I called upon a lot of individuals that have to go to the bank. The other day when I talk about this one, they say still long time, still got one and a half months. I say you don't have 1.5 months because the working days is only 20 days per month. You know, you won't contact the bank in let's say tomorrow, Saturday or Sunday. The bank will not pick up the phone. So can you imagine if businesses and individual few millions, how to approach in a particular 20 to 25 working days to come, you know. So the third one is the businesses. So the businesses show there is no automatic, because after the automatic period expired in the month of September, 30th September. Can you imagine when we had a dialogue with the Bank Negara? I told the bank cannot be 30th September when the clock struck about 12 o'clock. That means that immediately after 1st of October, the demand letter keep on going out by computer, you know, to chase the money. Then how to pay? So it must be a soft landing in such a way. That's why the soft landing, the government has already announced. So I think the SME, if you still unable to pay the particular your loan whatsoever, you know, you have to contact the bank for R&R, you know. So I always get a joke there. I say R&R is not the highway R&R resting, you know. The R&R is a restructuring and rescheduling, you know. So I say if you don't do R&R, your business will be rest in peace. I say, you know. So this R&R, you have to contact your bank. The banker will do it, you know. Individual banker will do R&R, tell you how to do it. That means if you still cannot afford then maybe they ask you to pay only interest. If you can afford a little bit, then perhaps they can lower down the installments, some things like that. If let's say you are not owing to one bank, you are owing to numerous banks, few banks, that means, let's say the few banks also cannot help you, you can go to Bank Negara. You go to Bank Negara, there's called SDRS, Small Debt Resolution Scheme, to help you to call upon all your lender, the bank, then to restructure for you in order for you to go over this difficult COVID-19 period. So I think all the businesses, especially when we talk about businesses, a lot of people imagine that is a sendirian, but not so. Businesses inclusive of sole proprietor and then partnership, even though include those small trader, petty trader, so you have to come forward. If you have a loan, you still cannot repay, you have to restructure your this. But you talk about this moratorium, if you want to restructure, there's a few criteria that you must fulfill. The first one is you must have a track record with the bank. That means you cannot have a bad track record. For instance, that the bank asks you to pay the loan previously, you didn't pay. That means you have a bad track record in the secrets. That means you are not entitled. For instance, if you have a credit card, you didn't pay, not up to date, I don't think so. You have credit worthiness, then you can't do it. The second one is your business must still in operations. You cannot be your business already bankrupt, already closed store. You still want to apply the extensions. There's no way. The third one, your business, even though affected by the COVID-19, it still can go on. But why is it now cannot go on? Because of your lack of cash flow, to turn around. Then you can get this moratorium in order to get the business and go on. The fourth, last but not least, all the loan, you mustn't enter the NPL, non-performing loan. That means for EC's sake, that means you should not owe the bank more than 90 days prior to this. So if you fulfill these four criteria, the bank ready to talk to you. So I think for this moratorium, I think the SME and the individual must go forward and then initiate ourselves to talk to the bank before it is too late. That is my comment about moratorium. Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Koong. It's very good advice, especially those SME or any businessmen or any individuals that what Mr. Koong is saying that this moratorium after the March is automatically, the Prime Minister announced it, the 6 months they give you automatic. But after 6 months, it's no more. So they only give to a certain targeted people, or those people are affected. Okay, as what we mentioned, there are three criteria of people. One, they lose the job, okay, or the business affected, or you have to go back to your bankers and ask for the assistance or restructuring, okay. And you really cannot afford, or the bank not reluctant to help you, there's no way that you go back to Bank Negara. So the Bank Negara, through the instruction of the government, so they still can assist you. But of course, there's certain term and condition apply there. So from here, those audiences, you are here. So if you still have a month plus out of working days, everything, you still have 20 over days. If you are not prepared, please do it now, okay? Still, you have time to submit and meet the bankers. They will consider, okay, as what Mr. Koong saying that, of course, you have to meet their criteria. You are not a bankrupt, you are not what are the non-performing bonds, or it's already default or things like that. You are not eligible. Okay, but most cases of the people who are generally affected by this COVID-19, you can always go and approach your financial institution. Okay, they will give a first hand to assist you. This is also instruction from the Bank Negara. Okay. Well, and again, Dato is being saying that because of social distancing, that a lot of business were affected because of SOP. You cannot have a full business or full, what they call this?
Capacity.
Yes, you don't have that. So some businesses are only 20%, 30%, and things like that. Okay, with that, I believe that these are the things that affected those businessmen. And also that you can find many ways of improving your business. Like now, what we are doing now is about digital world. Okay, we are doing through Zooming. There's many apps that apply this through this IT, yet you can improve your e-commerce or business. Okay, and maybe Dato or Mr. Kun, what do you think of this future? The future, that what should we do to overcome, to be prepared for the upcoming? Because a lot of people some people are still not realize that, no, maybe the second wave is coming or third wave is coming. What should we do? Basically have to prepare.
I think we can't afford to have another wave. That's serious. Prime Minister say that, Finance Minister say that. No? You see how much actually government had to put up and to keep the business afloat, and keep SME and also large businesses running the business. So that's why, and you can see, even though Malaysia, I think Malaysia consider we are doing well in containing pandemic, but look at all the advanced countries, for instance, US, UK, Brazil, Australia, even Turkey. Turkey, I think latest is because one of the minister went to Turkey, come back, and then he's not comply with SOP, with self-quarantine 14 days. So these are the things I think Malaysian, we all have to discipline ourselves and to make sure that we can't afford to again wave. In the meantime, how to keep business function. Now actually this unprecedented pandemic actually transformed, actually have changed the structure of the global economy. And it will take years, to rebuild our economy. Because every country is affected. And now we deal with uncertainty, when even cross-border, Singapore, Thailand, just our closer neighbor, Brunei, So even there, Thailand, Brunei, they are considered green, green zone, green country, Singapore, so actually, despite the affected cases are quite big, but they do it mostly are those the foreign workers because they live in the concentrated camp or the quarters. So one affected, it affect many, but they are all okay. They are not ill. Actually, they just affected, infected, but they are still okay. They just quarantine there. So I think moving forward, I think for at least another, until and unless the vaccine, that whoever succeeded, then we have come out think that will be a solution. But it still take time. Until today, despite many countries claim that they have almost there, get their own vaccine. I doubt, and I also, of course, we had reason to be, we cannot be negative, but realistic. We had to be positive, but we must have the reason to be positive. So it's how to equip ourselves, how to prepare ourselves. So first I think it's a mindset. We have to change. I think don't say we're so complacent. Concern in the tourism-related business, you just wait for people to come. The China visitor, the tourists. Until we say if we have too many China visitors, we don't know how can we go out with them. But now you cry for visitor because no visitor can come to Malaysia. Neither we can go. I think all countries still close their border. I think despite they say look at Europe, they open for a short while. Now they have closed. Paris, Italy, they closed again the border. So I think moving forward, I think business person like myself, I'm in furniture, timber industry. Look at make a door. Now, door people don't even want to touch. Maybe you have to do sensor. Instead of touching the door. So people become very health conscious, very health and hygienic, and also I think environmental. These are the concern. Any business you want to do, you have to take care of this consideration. Then I think your business you have to change from there. And even your home furniture, you also is actually convertible into office. You can use your furniture set and so convert into equipped with all the connection, that so that you can do work from home. I think so. There's the changes, and then because of social distancing, even after we contain this, I mean, I think you'll be there. You'll be there. I think our lifestyle will change. Definitely will change. We change for now and future.
Okay, Dato. As you say that we have to adapt the change. So things change, the new normal change. So like digital world, like right now, we forced to use a stay at home to do some work. So what we important that was what Dato advised that mindset had to change. We cannot stay at what we are before the COVID-19, and now we are facing. We don't know when will this be lifted out, because as far as vaccine is concerned are not found, we don't know what will be our future. And again, nobody can answer right now, Dato, whether our economy will recover when. Next year, end of this year, or things like that. And as they say, we did not know second wave or third wave are coming. And because we are living in a globalized country right now, so that we may be safe. Malaysia, as far as Malaysia government is concerned, under health ministry, we are doing well. But what happened to the rest of the world, that we are still connected to them? So we are still open up. Okay. What say, Mr. Koong? Would you like to add something?
Okay. Because Dato has talked about some a bit of macro. Let me come back and say what is the current, and then what do you want to do now? For the businesses and the SME. Because a lot of people ask me this question. They say during this pandemic or post-pandemic, what sort of business or industry will be out of the market and it becomes irrelevant? But my answer is there is no industry or no businesses will be irrelevant in our market. The something is our place is our mindset. The businesses is still there. If the mindset improve and change, and then your businesses will be doing well, or will be boiled out to the mindset. Let's come back to the departmental of the statistic mentions. During the MCO 18th of March, to the 4th of May, when we come back to the work, 4th of May, about 70% there's no sales during the MCO. But only 12% got some sales because they are online. You look at this. If this 12% of the businesses they are not online, they will go bust. There is no business at all. And then the statistics also show that about 70%, 69 to 70% is using own reserve. During the after the pandemic, using own reserve because there is no cash flow coming in. As Dato mentioned just now, 3C, those things cash flow. But about 20% is using what? Using the existing loan, whatever property loan or any loan, in order to survive in their business. I assume if this one go on, if your businesses is still not improved the way of you are doing business, I think it will gone bust. As Dato mentioned just now, the digital. The first thing I think before we talk about digital, we must have some budget to be down to the earth, do some practical things. We must reduce the fixed expenses like rental, wages, some expenses, you must go on already. And then all the bosses, business owner, you cannot just rely on your accountant already. You have to get down to work to look at what expenses you can save, I think the followers, for some of the fluorescent light also you have to change, I think, in order to save the electricity bill, all those things, And then you have to review the existing loan package, Talk about just now, we talk a lot about moratorium, You don't hope for your clerk, that means your staff call the bank, You have to call to the bank, I think even though now after the webinar, you have to email to your banker, to follow up. And you cannot wait for the Monday 9 o'clock in order to call the bank. So I think you have to look at this package, because if you don't budget for it, for the next 3 months, 6 months, it's a very short period. Let's say next 6 months. I think before Chinese New Year, we will gone bust in such a way. If the bank recall our loan, and then you must have a better planning. Apart from all the planning, the tax planning also very important. Because you know why? You see, if we are doing tax submissions now, the tax submission is submit for what? Submit for last year income, Can you imagine? Last year I'm making huge profit. This year, even though I don't make profit, but I need to pay tax for last year, But where is the cash flow? So this one we got to plan all those things in order to survive, Because in the good time we always talk about the profit. Why we talk about profit? Because in the good time, profit will make you look much better. The banker will come and talk to you, is on a profit, And then the merger acquisitions comes to talk to you, is a profit. Venture capital come forward, it's all talk about profit and PE ratio, all those things. If you want to go for listing, IPO, it's talk about profit. But in the bad time now, I don't think so profit is useful now. It's talk about cash flow. Which product or which services can garner the cash flow, that is the king. If your product is, even though a high margin, but you sell no cash flow, that you cannot survive, So I think this is the first thing we should do before we talk about digital, If you talk about digital, I think all the businesses can go digitalizations, but digitalization is not suitable for all businesses. This one we must remember. It cannot be. Let's say, for instance, a haircut, you go for digitalization. That is very limitations. You ask a robot to cut your hair, all those things. But certain processes can go for digitalization. That's why it's not blindly, go for digitalization. You look at during the MCO until now, a lot of people are afraid to use cash, or use e-wallet. You look at this e-wallet, I reckon e-wallet supposed to be fantastic in Malaysia. Everybody will use to it in the next 7 years. Suddenly this year, not even half a year, everybody get used to it. I even see auntie 60 over, 70 over years old also know how to use a phone to scan my Sejahtera. So I think all this improvement is because of situations, because of the environments who make us there. Why? Because the old men also changed their mindset using the phone. Now I feel that a lot of elderly people also playing game now at home, using phone. They found out another usage of the phone. You look at Boost, this e-wallet. Can you imagine? They just started in the 2017. 2017 is only barely 3 years only. But the other day, they sold it. They sold it 22% only, for how much? For 300 million, It is fantastic. And then after the MCO, we look at the statistic in the Southeast Asia. Malaysia is the highest, usage of the we call it e-payment, or cashless payment, about 40%. Philippines is 36%. Thailand 27%. And then Singapore is about 26% only. So I think it's fantastic. All this is the new development. That's why businesses got to change their mindset, go towards this sort of, they call it digitalization. Later, maybe last part of this webinar, we talk about how to make use of governments to help us for digitalization. That is quite interesting. You look at Bank Negara Malaysia, already mentioned, end of this year, they are going to issue 5 digital banking license. It's very interesting. That means this one is just like Alibaba financial institutions. It will happen in Malaysia. That's why how are we going to make use of this in order to do our business? I think this is the way forward. For our businesses, it's no longer you just stay put there and then wait for somebody to change us. We got to change something. And then another thing I need to mention is we need to look at our customer. Which customer can really engage with us? Then we have to engage with them. Our services got to be different. We cannot like pre-MCO. We don't bother our customers. All those things. Like just now mentioned about Zoom. You see, in prior to this, if we launch a new product, we need to advertise. We spend a lot of money advertising the magazine, newspaper. Maybe you don't read newspaper as well, the printed material. Some of the salesmen have to travel to Sabah, Sarawak, or Kedah to demonstrate how to use this particular new products. Just like Dato, if they say Dato Lo got the new products, about the wooden products, you have to advertise. Now no need. You just ask your clients Monday 3 o'clock. Log into our Zoom, company Zoom. I will use Zoom to explain to you what is a new product is coming in, and then what is the usage of this new product. So everybody will not blame you. Everybody will go to Zoom, If last time, if you do it, people will say, why are you so stingy? Don't even come to my office for tea time using a Zoom to tell me what to do, Now nobody will blame you. That's why this is a way of doing business. We especially in KL, fantastic. We are seeing customer. We don't see them so often now. We use Zoom. We even use WhatsApp video call. They won't blame us. We save a lot. On what? On the transportations. We save a lot on the traffic jam. No more traffic jam, I say. It's very, very useful. We can go for meeting one after another. Last time we just couldn't do it. Because of traffic jam and the parking, all those things. That's why these are the new norm. I think we should do it now and practice in order to save what? To save the cost of doing business, reduce the cost of doing business. Once we reduce, that means we increase the gross profit margin, of our business. That is the way we go forward. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Our accountants, they know that first thing first, you have to, because the income is less, as we say, we have to save money. So the first thing is save money. Second thing, also your mindset change. Not to say about senior people like us. We have the auntie is so old, they also change. They know what is digitalization. They know how to use e-wallet. And all these change because of environment. I think everybody have to change right now, and you cannot stick to what the previous era. This is a new era now. And another thing that we learned today is you face all these things. You have to change and you have to face it, and you have to do it immediately. And it takes advantage also because of all this happening, and they make advantage, like we save a lot of times to meet the customer. We have to do a better service to the customer through just entire IT Zoom. Then we can meet, and people will don't blame of it, meaning that people are accepting this current scenario. For example, we are in the event industry. Last time I'm doing event, I'm doing a so-called physical event. We are doing competition. We are doing so-called event. So we have to go to the physical, the shopping mall, the hotel. Right now we are doing is online. The first time we have to touch it, how to use this good, better computer, a better internet connection, and things like that. So then we learn through the process, and we make use of process. And today we found out the market is even bigger. As what Mr. Koong is saying, that now we can talk to Sarawak, Sabah, North, South, East, West. This is Malaysia market. We can go globalize. All these are because of the new norm, the logistic and things like that. You will have to overcome. Okay. More interesting last topic because of the time. I think we are coming to the end is where we are facing this problem, and we know how to counter the problem and improve the problem. And what's say about we need assistance from a government. Everybody expect government give money, loan. Government have problem also. They have no money. So who to get? Get from the taxpayer? No business how to get from a taxpayer. So what say Dato about this government assistance to our SME today?
I think the government assistance is just is intended for a short-term solution. So for us to maintain, to sustain our business, we had to work, we had to change that. What Koong has shared with us is a very good fine example. Actually, I can see the changes of this time around. It's because never before we are forced to knock down. We can't move. We have to stay at home. The only thing that we can communicate is by digital. Yeah, that's why and then everyone used to it. That's very good. Even like Jason just said that your business also. Otherwise, those say who want to go online to listen to you to show your services or your event. Because now everyone can accept it. Because as I say now, how we position ourselves and what government had provided us assistance. I think I think this is in the past. Every government have given us possible subsidy, so that we can. Because to keep our worker, so to keep them, to make sure that to save them, to save an enterprise, the businesses. So that for instance today, there are some 2.7 million benefited employee, under this wage subsidy program, where the employer will get direct assistance from government, to now from this month onwards is 600 flat per worker, max 200. So those as was small as 1,002, a medium size is 800, and then the last is 600 per worker for cap for 4,000 below. And I think the government provide this soft loan and also rental deduction for government office. They already give free rental. For private sector, then we can get double tax deduction on the rental deduction. I think one thing I want to touch here is that we are so concerned about this unemployment. How many people have been laid off, get unemployed. Before that, Koong had said earlier, the Malaysian labour force is about over 15 million. That included foreign worker 2.3 million, government servant, and also those worker. So for EIS contributor, employment insurance system, the contributor just over 6 million. This 6 million worker, they contribute 0.2%, toward to this EIS. Employer 0.2, total 0.4%. Out of that 0.4%, so this fund accumulated and managed by SOPSO under EIS, which I'm the committee members. So the up to date is this year, August up to yesterday, is 73,698 worker being laid off or terminated. Okay, then they will get this EIS assistance. So first month they get 80% of the total payroll, capped at 4,000. If you have 5,000 salary per month, they base on 4,000 to give you 80%. So second month 60. Then second month 50, then 40, 30. Give you 6 months. But at the same time, they will train you. You need to. They provide you training allowance so that you get job. So situation is not that bad, and we think that there will be some 2.0 million people unemployed. But that we'll see after September. If those businesses they cannot keep afloat, so there's Koong say that 35% are actually businesses apply for auto moratorium. So then depend this company, if they can restructure, I think they will sustain. Yeah, if not, then they may have to receive another wave of layoff. You know, I said now it's 73,000. We have 500,000. These people already unemployed before pandemic. Yeah. So total we're talking about 600,000. Yeah. But that not including those Johorian who work in Singapore. Now they're temporarily unemployed. It's not that they out because Singapore not down. Yeah, they cannot go back to Singapore. When they come back, they can go back to Singapore. So I think the Koong can share more on government assistance and I think now our government had done their mean. Actually, they provide many assistance. But I say we cannot take it as and this is now I can see some individual they actually like they enjoy. I was in Pahang, Cherating and hired a company, one of my old friend, so they cannot go overseas. So they have to travel, they go to island or they go to resort. So imagine they will have to pay 700 per room, you know, for hire or in Cherating, Kuantan, no? But in KL, Eastern Hotel, you pay 130 ringgit net with breakfast. You know, Hilton 199. I just look at One World Hotel, they provide 2 nights, 399 with breakfast. You add one more 100, yeah, for 2 nights, you go to junior suite. Imagine, you know, because people don't go to the city, people get out from the city. So you don't have to promotion. Actually, resort, island, the business are good. You know, they even increase the price. So this is how you position yourself, actually. But this is just temporary. Until we get overseas visitor to visit us, to come to I think all this, especially the 5-star hotel, it cannot sustain. Yeah, because they only depend on local traveler, visitor. You know, how many people will spend money to stay in 5-star? Most are businesses, you know, or overseas traveler. Yeah. So, Koong, what do you think about government assistance? Do you think that we still need further from them?
Actually, the government assistance, I think Dato have mentioned quite a number of them, because among these 295 billion, all total together, I think it's a lot. But I got the feeling that all the SME must be able to study this one and utilize. I cannot be one initiative also you can't use, you know, because during the bencana mentioned by the Prime Minister back in the June 5th, you know, but they mentioned about 40 initiative, a lot over there. Apart from the special relief facility, the fund about 1 million per enterprise. Just now we mentioned digitalization. If you go for digitalizations, we can get the automations and digitalization facility at ADF about 3 million per company. Actually, you can apply. You know, there is an open, you know. And then smart automation grant, there is a grant. 50% of what you have done, the cost the government will give you as a grant. It's a matching grant, you know. But the maximum amount is about 200,000 ringgit per company. There's a lot of money as well. And then you have SME Technology Transformations Fund, you know. This the financing amount is ranging from the 100,000 to 3 million. You can apply as well. And then the All Economic Sector Fund facility, you know, up to 5 million per SME. I think a lot of people complain that SRF has sorted no more already, you know. The other day with the Bank Negara, they said it's coming out now. Some already came out. The bank is a bencana SME financing. Now no longer 1 million per company. There's about 500,000 per company, about 3.5%. So I think a lot of SME, they should go for this sort of thing, apart from just now the wages subsidy, you know, already extended. Just now you said tax reductions for the rental, we already extended for another 3 months to 30th September. We have to utilize this one, I think. If we do not know the rest of the above that I mentioned, then we should contact the SME Corp, you know, because SME Corp is doing upskill your business, to give you some full skill of the consultancy and advisory to tell you what grant or soft loan that you can get. Even though now if you lost your job, you want to start your own business, if you set up a company now, up to next year 2021 December, any profit that you make in the first 3 years, you are exempted 20,000. This is the first of its kind in Malaysia. That means you make profit first year, 20,000 is exempted. So second year and third year as well. So I think all these things we should go for it. Apart from this one, I think we know the housing, the home ownership campaign, all the stamp duty is waived. For this developer, new houses, all those things. I think we should capitalize this one. But sadly, I see a lot of people capitalize on the sales tax waiver of the go and buy car. A lot of people go and buy car because of sales tax waiver. So why not we save some money, go and look at the business, look at some investment in the property, rather than go and buy so many car and then so many share. Nowadays the share is so high, retailing, a lot of retailer out there. So I think we should make some constructive move today and then to overcome this COVID-19 pandemic. So hopefully everybody will stay safe, and then you go all out, to do your business and then your income for the future. I think something like that. Yeah.
Good. I think I would like to ask one question about training. I can see that during the last 10 years, when government, during the recession or last 10 years, they have train and place. Now we have a program called place and train. Get a job, then train them. I think like us, like this year, what we're facing also, we also take some time to go and train ourselves to improve, the upskill, to adapt, to visualize things like that. Maybe Koong, you can add a bit about of this training program that under this government scheme.
Actually, this scheme is for those currently unemployed and youth. They call it they call it place and train. You place them and train. I think they for the upskill. About 2 billion fund over here. This is a subsidy for your training, and then continue to study. Then you can have all these things. And then you do have the incentive to hire as well. Apart from this place and train, then you can get this subsidy. This one is a 2B. You can ringgit Malaysia. Then incentive to hire as well. Incentive for the company to hire about below 40 years old, you can have 800 ringgit per month, subsidy. Then you're above 40 years old, you can have this ringgit Malaysia 1,000. This one inclusive of the OKU as well. 1,000 per month to subsidize you. If you are no experience, is a graduate, then you also can hire them. This time you call it apprentice internship. About 600 ringgit per month. So this one is encourage, apart from place and train, encourage the bosses to hire. But all these employee and employer, you have to pre-register yourself with the Pekeso site, under My Future there. This one, there is a scheme in respect of this one. But I do not know why they split into below 40 years old and above 40 years old. Maybe 40 years old is too late to change the job, too early to retire. Yeah. So I think this is a good initiative, apart from what we mentioned just now about the monetary initiative. This one is for the worker, and this, as you mentioned, the internship, all those things. Yeah.
Thanks, Koong. You see, this is what the government are giving us the assistance that I've mentioned that beside the monetary, that you can apply for certain grant and all. And again, that what I mentioned just now is about unemployment rate that Dato Loh is mentioned that you will hit to about 600,000-700,000 of unemployment. So things like that, we have to again accept the change, what is happening after this COVID-19. Okay, what been advised by this celebrity speaker today? They are in the industry, so that what our businessmen or especially SME, when you have this type of problems of challenging, you need to do a preparation right now. Right now, huh? It's not wait until last day and take things for granted. So there are SME corporation. It's called SME Corp, which is an agency of under this Ministry of Entrepreneur Development Corporation. We call it MIDEC. And if you have any further problems beside of this our talk today, you all can refer to the officer in charge there. Okay, and today I believe there's a very good talk between all our good friend here. Dato Loh happened to be our Terengganu. We are together in Chinese Chamber of Commerce those days, and Koong also in the federal side, Chinese Chamber of Commerce Malaysia, Association Malaysia. So what our intention to have this talk is to share the informative that what Dato and Loong, they have expertise, they are experienced people that share, and at least they do some contribution to those people who know or who don't know. If you want to know further, you can always contact them, Mr. Koong, or get my contact number, FSP, or your accountants. That there are many things that government is providing, but a lot of people did not know that what government is doing. Okay, and through SME, through this Penjana, and a lot of this incentive that are given. So, but last but not least, as what Mr. Koong and Dato say, that the mindset, we have to accept the change. As nothing, the problem is there already. And when is the overcome, we don't know. The most important is follow strictly SOP, just pray there's no second or third wave coming up, and the vaccine, which nobody will know when it's coming. It seems to be this year and maybe next year and maybe 2 more years. But do prepare yourself to overcome the new era, accept the change. Okay, before we close up this talk, Dato, or maybe Koong, will add some more things before we close up today?
Yeah, Dato, anything?
Good sharing. I think now I think the owner is no more at the complacent business that we used to have. Now the owner, the operator themselves had to work extra harder, be more cost conscious, and then be innovative. Yeah, and I think here is to make changes, to make things, to reposition ourselves for a better preparation for the more challenging world.
Yeah, for me, I think because beside the we see the ecosystems of the country, then we have to improve our own business ecosystem as well. You know, this ecosystem have to improve to adapt to the new norm. Not simply adapt. You know, we have to study ourselves and then in depth, and then to change our ecosystem, the methodology of what we are doing now. It's not to change our business, you know, change our mindset in order our business can go forward in the futures without any obstacle, even though there is this COVID-19 obstacle over here, you know. So we will stay safe, and then we will prosperous, and then overcome these unprecedented situations. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for those audience who have been supporting this program, Talk and Show. Thanks, my good friend Dato from Terengganu, and also Koong, our Chinese.
Yeah, thank you.
So what do you call, review back this live. If those are not here on live, this is a very good topic and share, and most of the businessmen are facing today. So again, mindset, accept change, go for new normal, go digitalization. Okay. Again, once again, thank you so much. Thanks again, Dato. Thanks, Koong.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Stay healthy.
Thank you.
All right.